new patch, new balancing changes, tons of new bugs, some that affect only certain specs, others everyone, and another hollow apology like the one we got exactly about a year ago. Welcome to patch 12.05. I did try out the new content and...
I mean, it's alright, like...
The ritual sites are a good source to get hero crests solo. I haven't tried, but I imagine as tank spec it should be much easier. I personally found it a bit boring and tedious. I'd rather do +8 dungeons for hero crests, but that's just me. If you're a solo player, this is definitely challenging enough. But this is not why you are here, ladies and gents. No. You are here to witness chaos, suffering, and failure. My first +10 was Windrunner's Spire, where I invited a German 4-man pre-made to the party.
Naturwissenschaften.
I should have known this key is gonna be cursed when I accidentally put the key in the moment I hit pull timer. But you know, that can happen. However, then the tank only pulled like 1/2 of the first room and I was like, no lost pull, huh? But what worried me more is seeing myself on the top of the meter despite my bad rotation. We soldiered onwards on the right side and me and the mage got absolutely annihilated by the fire spit from the territorial Dragonhawk. This can be stopped by any hard CC like stuns, disorients, knockback, knockup, and I do have access at least 2 of those things, so I could have saved myself. I have incapacitating roar which would interrupt both of them, or I could combine Ursul's vortex with typhoon to knock them away but yoink them back where they were. Unfortunately, I didn't use any of those things, but neither did anyone else. The healer died to the frontal not only once, but the second time in the exact same spot. I imagine this fight is pretty tough to heal, so I don't blame them too much, but I had to waste 2 combat reses for this fight alone, which was not a promising sign for the rest of the key.
So it begins.
The funniest part of this run. On the left side, we are fighting the flash behemoth, and then the tank decides to leap into the next room with 5 stacks of poison ticking at once. Krieger in? More like get wrecked in. Okay, that was terrible. But it's not over yet. On the next attempt, the healer comes sprinting in a lightning speed into the poison puddle. So once again, we are slowly bleeding out and wipe again.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
On the next boss, the mage dies standing in poo. Literally, the DBM lady says, "Pool on you." Don't worry though, I didn't play perfectly either, as yours truly takes a forced cat nap on the last boss by taking the arrow too early. Needless to say that with 22 deaths, we were nowhere close timing this, but it's okay. This was still the previous week where I just wanted a myth track item for the vault. I ended week 1 on 257 item level. Kinda crazy that I went from flash level 90 to 257 in a single week.
Many unbearable hours later.
So, it's time to open the first Feral Druid vault.
What the hell is that shit?
Man, I can't. Why does this haste versatility knack plague me on every single character? I don't know what I've done to piss off RNGesus so much, but this has gotta stop, man. I also got a hero weapon and a cloak, but I'm planning to craft a weapon, so I simmed the knack and it was a whopping 0.3% upgrade over what I had, so I took it. But honestly, I think it would have been potentially smarter to take a third bonus roll, because those are a thing now. In case you've been living in a cave, the new patch brought us bonus rolls. In dungeons, you can roll twice a week, or a third time if you got an extra roll with the vault currency. And in raids, you can technically only roll once because it takes 2 charges for 1 raid item.
That's some old bullshit.
Next, I got my 285 weapon crafted and headed to the first +10 of the week, Seat, where these 2 gentlemen signed up. And those 2. Now, before you say, oh, you're gonna get carried then, huh? Well, yes and no. Damage-wise, for sure. I mean, I had 266 at this point, while these guys were almost all 280. But you can contribute in more ways than just pure damage. For example, on the first boss I used Vortex to keep the ad away from the boss so the others could focus on killing the boss. Then, this week's affix was our favorite foot fetish idol's Ascendant affix. This will spawn balls that will flood your screen with a ton of health bars. You can get rid of these balls with any kind of CC, so oh, for fuck's sake, disorienting roar, that's what I'll call it. So, disorienting roar is amazing for this affix, as it pretty much clears all balls with one button that's ready for every occasion. I tried to take them so others don't have to worry about it. I obviously tried to contribute as much as I could damage-wise, but I was nowhere near the others. I sadly got Misery Caverns, a dungeon nobody wanted to sign up to, which is hardly surprising as it's one big pile of shit. On the other hand, nobody really wanted to come here apart from Score, so I feel like people try a bit harder. This is actually not my key. I managed to purr my way into a key in hopes of swapping mine. The first boss got kinda spicy when the healer died twice in a row on the first boss, so we had to go 1/3 without him, which was kinda rough, but we got through it. We had deaths on the second boss as well, which could have been easily avoided in my opinion with better boss positioning, so listen up tanks. If you tank the boss on either on the left or right side in the middle, you'll be directly between the 2 ghost spawns. Since they are so close, they can be easily popped before the frontal, and by tanking it there, you automatically delay the other set of ghosts due to distance, who will arrive after the frontal so people can pop without having to worry about the frontal. I've seen this during my Evoker series work out extremely well on the +13. We +2'd this dungeon despite the 9 total deaths we had, and guess what? Of course, yours truly forgets to swap her key.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Luckily, a kind mage took pity on me and invited me for a Magister's Terrace, which we also +2'd, and I finally didn't forget to swap my key. And I got... Agathar Academy, let's go!
Oh, keys, 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 keys. Oh, keys, keys, goddamn. Oh, keys, keys, motherfucker. Oh, keys, keys, goddamn.
I want to thank everyone for the helpful tips on Feral Druid rotation on the first episode, but you probably noticed by now that I have not made any improvements in that department yet. First of all, the new patch changed the Apex talents a little bit because it had some conflict with other existing talents, which in practice means that instead of 4, now we use 5 combo points on Ferocious Bite, which is our big finisher. I've also watched some guides now, and I have a bit better understanding on what my opener should be, but I constantly fail to execute it. I always open with Rip. As far as I'm aware, it's enough to run it on 1 target, followed by Tiger's Fury and Berserk, then Feral Frenzy to bring me up to 5 combo points, where I should be using Primal Breath in AoE or Rip on single target, then Bite or Shed to a Ferocious Bite, and then use Convoke. Unfortunately, I constantly fail to keep this in mind. As soon as our pool starts, my mind goes blank and I go into mashing my cooldowns. I either don't use Feral Frenzy enough, or I waste it. The only thing I feel like I kind of improve on is to not use cooldowns when Tiger's Fury is not ready. I don't think I've ever struggled with the rotation as much before as Feral Druid, which is probably why I avoided the spec for a long time, but I'm not giving up. My numbers are not as high as they could be, but they are not terribly low either. We timed this dungeon quite easily, and what do I get from the bonus roll? Another haste versatility item.
Stupid fucking game.
But that's not all. I rolled a second one in Skyreach for the trinket as well, even though I looted it on Hero. And there I got another cloak. I timed every plus stand this week first try. The keys went smoothly without any craziness. Next week I'm hoping to time some 12s and maybe some 11s to practice my opener and rotation a bit more, get used to it before pushing to finish the 3k. I crafted myself legs as well because that was my lowest non-tier item, which I know is an odd choice, but I had plenty sparks. I finished this week on 271 item level. Leave a like if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe if you haven't yet. Otherwise, thanks for watching, see you all in the next one. Bye bye!